2-sentence horror stories? How about a 2-word horror story? It's back. Now, I've already made a video on season 1 of this show, which you can go watch now if you want a little more insight before we get into season 2, but the gist of it is bad effects, bad writing, bad acting, bad premise. Normally, when the first season of a show is met with subpar reception, you would expect some kind of change to come with the second season. And they definitely made a change, which we'll get into in just a second. First, I just want to remind you that this show was produced by the CW, a godlike TV network, revered by fans and critics alike, rivaled only by the likes of HBO and AMC, and in conversation for the greatest TV shows ever made. You see, the CW thinks differently. Okay, whereas other networks see spooky horror show, they might go, oh, okay, well, we're gonna throw zombies at you. Right, we're gonna throw ghosts, maybe sneak a ghoul or a goblin in there. Nah, not the CW. We're talking real. We're talking anxiety. We're talking gender identity. We're talking... We'll get to him in a minute. Because why take this super gimmicky premise to base each episode on its own 2-sentence horror story and make it fun? Make it creative. Actually challenge ourselves to go above and beyond, since the whole premise of our show is based on a form of writing that is supposed to challenge you. Why do any of that when you can just have that premise take a backseat to half-assed attempts at social commentary?
Figure with the whole board being there, I can show them I'm not just some random Asian.
Dude, they don't see you as Asian. They know you're one of us.
And what exactly would be wrong if they saw him as Asian?
What? Pandering? Who's pandering? It's a spooky horror show. I don't know what pandering means. What is that? Like gaslighting? It's not even a real word. Now, I really didn't want to talk about this social commentary nonsense, and I'm still not going to make it the main focus of the video. It's just that it's really hard not to acknowledge it. It just usually feels, especially in this season, very forced, done for the wrong reasons, and sometimes I'd even go as far as to say a little irresponsible, but really this is just one of many much larger issues, which we'll get into as I take you through the absolute circus that is Season 2. I'd like to begin with, not exaggerating here, one of the worst episodes of television I've ever seen. Be cool, stay in school? How about be cool, make better TV? Fuck you. We begin in this nice, intimate little classroom where one by one our group of ragtags and misfits file in for detention.
Can you please move?
Oh, I get it. He's the burnout, he's the nerd, she's the popular girl. Wait, this is sounding very familiar. So now that everybody's nice and settled, they start complaining to Mr. Gallo about how none of them belong here.
I don't know who's telling the truth and who's not.
Mr. Gallo, this is BS. Like, my parents are freaking out over something I had nothing.
I know all of you. You're good kids.
Doesn't feel like that's what you're saying. What you've been saying.
This is how people talk. How they speak words.
But somebody's responsible for that cherry bomb in your gym class. It panicked everyone. We all thought it was...
Wait, they're not... No. There's no way they're making... No, stop it. No. Really. That's where we're taking this. Why? Why couldn't they be in detention for something fun? Like putting stink bombs in the air vents or something? Okay, well, they've set the tone pretty heavy from the start, so I'm sure wherever they go with this will be tasteful. And that's a man coming out of a bag. Oh, I see. Bag man. Right. I gotcha. Hey, that sucks. You're telling me these two moments are in the same episode? I just can't even begin to imagine how this made it out of the writer's room. All right, guys, I'm thinking for this next episode, we talk about racism. No, you idiots, we've already solved racism. We don't need to do it again. Hey, why don't we do an episode about school? Whoa, okay, I'm gonna stop you right there. We can't do that. I was just gonna say school lunches. Well, what if we just make it the subtext of the episode and make the villain a tall, lanky, bald fuck who crawls out of bags? All right. Ooh, okay. I like that. But that's not it. What? He's got a bunch of shit drawn all over his head. He's got claws. And finally, we put him in... Come on. Put him in. Whiteface.
Banger after
That's
banger.
it. The budget for the next episode, add it to your salary. Hey, guys, I don't know about this. It seems kind of, distasteful. You know what? You could have his salary, too. Yeah, can we fire that guy? So, detention actually begins, and Mr. Gallo takes everybody's phone. Jax, of course, being the edgy badass character, is like, psych, bitch, you thought I'm giving you my phone? And then he gives him his phone. God, he's just so cool. He's so tough, and he's like this badass, and he... Whoa, hold on a second. Jax, why are you eavesdropping on what they're saying about you? That's not badass behavior, that's insecure little bitch behavior. Okay, wait a minute. A tough guy? Who's secretly sensitive deep down? 5 kids representing different teenage stereotypes stuck in detention together?
Why do you care, Jax Bender?
His last name is Bender? This is the Breakfast Club. Yep, they're doing the Breakfast Club. Hey, you know what the Breakfast Club had that you don't have? An hour and a half. The movie is like 95% dialogue, and that dialogue is what helps develop each of these 5 characters into something a little more complex and interesting than the stereotype they're introduced as, especially John Bender. You know, aside from all the creepy shit, it was the 80s, it was a different time, but maybe that creepy shit was what they were trying to avoid when they made Jax Bender like a Disney Channel version of John Bender. Instead of pulling a knife on somebody, he pulls pranks, I guess. He also hits on Gabby, the popular girl.
Hey,
I'd be careful there, Jax.
why?
She's a cheerleader.
Which is the same exact thing John Bender does in the movie. In fact, it's also one of the first things he does in the movie.
Sweet. You couldn't ignore me if you tried.
And it'd be one thing if they wanted to just set the episode up with the same general premise as The Breakfast Club. You know, 5 different archetypes of the high schooler stuck in detention and forced to bond. Like, you could do your own thing from there while having it still be clearly influenced by the movie, but there are just so many similarities that it feels like they're trying to do something with it. And I cannot figure out what the hell it is. It's not parody because it's not mocking the original movie, and it's not satire either because there's not any humor in it. Satire is also supposed to make some kind of commentary about the world, and despite the heavy subject matter, it doesn't do that either. The only real message I can find places blame on teachers, so I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and assume that's not what they were trying to say. But there's nothing else. I don't understand. What's the point? I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, and maybe somebody just really liked The Breakfast Club and wanted to pay homage. But even if that was their intention, they didn't do a very good job.
I'm right here, and my name is Gabby MacArthur. But you can call me man. Keep it moving.
Okay, now this is a common theme we'll see moving forward. So many actors on this show cannot deliver lines of dialogue that are very clearly supposed to be delivered a certain way, and it happens so much that I'm kind of inclined to believe it's not really the actor's fault. It almost feels like they did one take and were like, sure, fine, whatever, next scene. You'll see what I mean.
But you can call me man.
What's up with you and the big guy? Ma'am?
So, are you guys like boyfriend, girlfriend?
It's just kind of the same thing, but with less charm. All right, let's see what happens when they divert from this whole Breakfast Club thing and have to get original with their dialogue.
No chance, no way, no how, absolutely not. Not in 100 years.
Not in a million years.
Not in a billion years.
Not if it would solve world hunger.
I'd rather drown.
Not if we were the last 2
Really,
people left
Jax?
on Earth.
Oh, that's what happens. I get confused. See, they're still trying to do the same thing The Breakfast Club did with this scene by introducing the Bender character as this overwhelming asshole who's obviously desperate for attention, but they're doing it with their insufferable Disney Channel ass fucking dialogue, having everybody all gathered around in a circle joking and laughing as if they're friends. Hey, I thought they didn't like this guy. Why the hell is Gabby laughing with him here instead of at him? Pick a fucking tone.
Give me an N. N. Give me an O.
Oh!
What does that spell?
No.
Come on, man. I get it. She's a cheerleader, so she gotta do a cheerleader chant. Hey, maybe next we could have the Bagman come on screen and sing show tunes. God damn it. Fuck it. Why don't we just turn the whole thing into a musical? A fucking Bagman on ice.
Okay, how about not today, Satan?
Not today, Satan. Not today, Satan. Hey, here's a 2-sentence horror story for you. I grew up on 2014 Tumblr. Then I went to go write for a spooky horror show.
How about
Hey, is this someone's bag? I think your phone's vibrating.
Oh, is that right? Is their phone vibrating, Winton? Is it? It's not their phone, it's just the Bagman. We gotta get out of here.
Respect, man. Prank like that takes planning and foresight.
Calling me a liar now?
Boop, boop, boop. Hello? A liar?
Get this shit out of here.
Y'all are no fun. I gotta pee.
Oh, but little do they know, Jax isn't peeing at all. He's actually cooking up a prank that takes...
Planning and foresight.
And we finally get to see the Bagman in all his glory. Oh no, he killed the edgy one. Where are we gonna get our comic relief from now? That's it? You have him push his head against the mirror and he fucking dies? You couldn't maybe utilize the gimmick you've been running with for the entire episode and have him drag him into his bag dimension or something? Oh yeah, remember in Nightmare on Elm Street when Freddy Krueger used his gun to shoot people? No, dipshit, he had the dream world. If you want your villain to be interesting, make him interesting. Putting a bunch of weird symbols on his head isn't gonna make him more interesting. He has the bag. He's the fucking bag dimension. Use it.
Where's Jax?
Well, shit, maybe you would know if you were watching the kids you're responsible for. Guys, fucking kids making me actually do my job. Jax, you in here? God damn it, of course he's not. Oh shit, a bag.
You can't leave your bags lying around here, kids. If he comes back here, tell him he's suspended.
Whoa, what the heck is this guy talking about?
You know, there's a new school policy about leaving unattended bags.
Oh, that's right. Thanks, Sam.
Shut up.
Whoa, hey, come on, you was helping me out. They don't say it outright, but it's pretty easy to understand that the reason for this rule is so people can't hide something dangerous in plain sight since, you know, there's so many backpacks in a school. So naturally, if there was something dangerous in the bag, putting it back in the room with the kids would make it easier for them to get hurt. Nice thinking, Teach. Now, with the remaining students trapped in the closet, we get to have our real Breakfast Club moment. When Z admits that she and Jax were the ones who lit the cherry bomb.
I was mad at Winton because I thought you two were dating. Jax just wanted to cheer me up, but Jax said he saw you two set off the cherry bomb.
Yes, I was in love with you, so I made the whole school think they were in danger. That's it, Winton. Let her have it.
I had no idea you liked me.
Okay, that's not exactly what I had in mind, but sure. Gabby?
I ghosted you because I freaked out. I've never liked a girl before.
Yeah, what? This is the last 5 minutes of the episode, and you're just throwing this at us. Let me explain something, okay? I don't care about any of these characters, and I'm not going to care about them because there's 5 of them, and you have 19 minutes. You could develop one character, maybe 2, but I'm not watching this episode for a forced last-minute love triangle. I'm watching it for the fucking bag man. Give me the goddamn bag man. Okay, she just said she liked Winton, but I guess they're together now. Cool, whatever. I don't really give a shit. Bagman time.
How did Sam get pulled into this?
Don't care. Bagman.
Come and get me!
There he is, baby! Quick, walk toward her menacingly. Yeah, that's his signature move. So they managed to trap him in the closet, but good old Mr. Gallo sends the school into lockdown mode.
Get out of there!
Well, shit, if only they had thought of that. And then they all become really good friends. The end. And the story this episode was based on is be cool, stay in school. It's easier for me to get you. I don't like it, CW. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that the bagman is the symbol for the heavy subject matter of this episode. Also, whether this was intentional or not, I don't like what you're implying by having the only authority figure in the episode be so incompetent and irresponsible that he repeatedly puts the students in danger. Nice job with this one, guys. You really killed it. Oh, hey, this is kind of nice. We're having a nice little fun family time. We're pushing each other on the swings. Holy shit!
Another nightmare?
Oh no, I was just thinking about trains.
Jackson.
Here they come.
Jackson.
Clickety-clack down the track. It's lots and lots of trains.
Jackson, the anniversary of your parents' death is this weekend. Do the math.
Okay, I've been up all night working on this equation. Let's see what we got here.
Planning and foresight. 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 Planning and foresight.
Sophia was there too. The drinking, the drugs. I know God wants me to forgive her, but it's so hard.
Okay, bud, I didn't ask for your whole life story.
Now her apartment's only 10 minutes from here. You could grab breakfast and break the ice.
You see what I mean about the dialogue? You don't say, grab breakfast, break the ice. You go, oh, you can go grab breakfast, maybe break the ice. Talk like a person. But Jackson can't grab breakfast and break the ice because she's not at her apartment. She's at their vacation home where she's definitely not shooting up heroin.
Are you using again?
God damn it, Sophia.
That's what this is really about?
No, it's about grabbing breakfast and breaking the ice, but you can't do that. So you gotta press you about your drug use now. You can't do drugs, Sophia. Very bad. Drugs are very bad for you.
You've forgiven me for selling Dad's pocket watch.
I love how she says that like it's not a bad thing. Their parents just died a year ago, so yeah, reasonably you would want something to remember them by. Oh, what, you forgiven me for putting salvia in the wine at church, dressing up like the devil, and screaming into the mic for no reason other than my own amusement? Yeah, why don't you grow up, big brother? I get it. It's implied that she did it for drug money, but that doesn't make it, like, okay. She could still apologize. And yes, by the way, I do understand putting salvia in the wine at church would be a lot worse than selling a pocket watch. It's called hyperbole. Blow me. Anyway, Jackson's settling into his room and he finds this strange book in the drawer.
What is this?
I found someone who gives me everything I need. Maybe he can help you.
I should have known that there was some guy involved.
Actually, yes, Jackson, I'd like you to meet Bazingus, destroyer of... I'm sorry, babe. Devourer of genitals.
Whoever this guy is, I'm pretty sure he's bad news.
He's actually not so much of a guy as much as like a demon, but yeah, as long as you don't let him know you got anything going on down there, he's really not so bad.
Hey, is everything okay?
Yeah, everything's fine. It's just, Bazingus kind of heard you taking a piss, and yeah, you should probably take off. Jackson busts the door down, there's a weird symbol on the ceiling, and Bazingus slips him a little something something. And then Sophia turns around, you're like, whoa, she was there the entire time, that's kind of cool. Now, I don't know if there's like a name for this trick, but I have seen it done in other horror stuff before, where, you know, there's a person hidden in the background that's usually revealed in some kind of big way. I have seen it executed in much better ways, like in Hereditary, which I think is probably the best example of this, but considering the other cliche horror bullshit they did, like having Sophia crab walk or having the shower randomly turn to blood, I thought this one was fine, because it actually serves a purpose and tells the viewer that Sophia baited Jackson into the room, and it creates a little bit of suspense when he passes out. The only thing having the shower randomly turn to blood tells me is that the writers at the CW eat crayons. There's no follow-up, it doesn't tie into the story anywhere else, there's no explanation of why it happened. The only reason it happened is because it's a lazy way to let the viewer know something's off. Now, all that being said, considering all the praise I just gave for this trick, part of the fun, at least for me, is being able to spot the person in the background on the second watch. So I went back now that I knew she was there and she just wasn't. They must have just not had the confidence to hide her well enough, so instead they decided to just not put her there at all. It just feels really lazy, I guess, but I'm really more confused than anything. Like, it doesn't matter if somebody notices she's there before she's revealed, it's actually also part of the fun that that's possible. Anyway, the scene ends as we see Jackson get dragged out of the room. Is he gonna wake up tied to a table as a sacrifice? Is he gonna be surrounded by other followers of this demon? Or is he just gonna wake up at the kitchen counter perfectly fine like nothing even happened? Okay, but wait, something must have happened while he was asleep, right? Because otherwise it would make no sense for him to pass out and be dragged away like that.
When our parents died, I did everything I could to feel better.
Oh shit, she's monologuing. She's gonna tell him he's possessed, and he's a vessel for this demon.
Then I found the children of Flauros.
Yeah, that's him, baby. Yeah, Flauros! Fuck him up, Flauros!
Flauros the demon? They used to tell us about in church?
Yeah, that guy. Hey, can I see the scary now? Or we're just gonna eat bugs. She's just gonna fucking eat bugs. Hey, demons, you got oh, sorry, no demons, just bugs. Jackson passes out, gets dragged out of the room. He's in a vulnerable state, so you're implying something's going to happen as a result of that, right? But no, Sophia just eats bugs. You don't gotta do all this shit. You don't gotta set all this shit up for her to eat bugs. You can have her fucking walking down the stairs and she's eating bugs. I could eat bugs. I won't, because I don't like bugs. It's not my thing, right? But I don't gotta draw weird symbols on the ceiling and shit for me to eat bugs. I could just do it.
You're never gonna get past your pain. You can't even confront it!
Now, finally, we actually get some action. I don't know why we had to eat bugs for that to happen, but I don't know if she's maybe like Popeye offers spinach with the worms. I don't know. She starts trying to possess Jackson, and we get treated to this scene.
No! Our Father, who art in heaven.
The fucking anime scream. He sounds like a fucking anime character. Huh. Little do you know, Sophia, I've got the power of God on my side.
Deliver us from evil!
I'm going to spare you the full scene, but trust me, it goes on for about 15 seconds. Did she just go? What the fuck, man? Come on.
I know that you would have never touched heroin if it wasn't for me. That's how all of this started.
Is that why she's making those fucking noises? Is that when these noises started, when she started heroin? Jesus Christ. But wait, heroin? What happened to the demon that possessed Sophia for like this whole episode? Oh, the demon is heroin. It's a metaphor for drugs. Spooky horror show. If you're confused, that's okay. So was I. What actually happened is that when Jackson arrived at the house, he found Sophia dead on the couch from an overdose, and to cope with this immense pain, he relapsed. Now, I'm sure you still got a couple questions, and unfortunately, so do I. Like, what are we actually watching happen over the course of this whole episode? I get the metaphor, right, that the demon possessing Sophia is her drug addiction, but the issue is that the first, like, 75% of this episode has no correlation to what's supposed to be happening in the real world. It's kind of just a bunch of random bullshit happening. Take, for example, the scene where Jackson finds that weird satanic book. This could have been an opportunity for him to actually find like a syringe or something in the real world, and Sophia had to give some lame excuse as to what it was used for. It would make this twist a lot more satisfying if we had things we've already seen to call back on in the new context of what was revealed to us. However, I do have to give a little bit of credit because they did set up hints along the way.
You of all people should know there's more than one way to take away pain.
I thought that you were doing okay.
Like you are now?
This, to me, is a pretty vast improvement from the Season 1 episode I talked about in my last video, Tutorial, where if you go back before the twist, everything that happens kinda doesn't make sense in the context of the twist. But even so, this twist is still pretty heavily flawed. There are a lot of moving parts, and this is a pretty difficult thing to pull off, so if you're gonna try it, you gotta make sure you get all the details right. Now, that being said, it pains me to say this, especially when you have scenes like that, but this is probably the best episode of the season. The adaptation of the two-sentence horror story into a full 20-minute episode actually makes sense, and despite its flawed execution, the twist actually lines up. Now, it should go without saying that the bar is not set very high if the standard for the best episode of the season means following the show's gimmick, but it does have a pretty clear, pretty positive message of, you know, check up on your loved ones before it's too late, because if you don't, this is what will happen, and that's the horror of it. Again, not good, still bad, but under the right circumstances, it could have been decent. And these are not those circumstances.
Once upon a time, there was a boy who found himself lost between two realms.
Elliot? You okay, bud? What the hell are you looking at? There's nothing. Oh, shit, dude, you scared me.
We're switching it up today. Girls, stay here for jumping jacks. Boys, you've got relay sprints at the track. Go! Come on, let's go.
Okay, we're not even 30 seconds in and I'm already questioning whether the writers have ever set foot in a high school. Let me get this straight. You're separating the class by gender, sending the boys outside unsupervised, while the girls stay inside to do jumping jacks for what, the entire period? And yes, it's obvious where they're going with this since this episode's about transgender issues, because then this happens.
No, honey, you're with the girls.
Oh man, I really want to do jumping jacks.
Front row seats at the Freak Olympics.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Freak Olympics, where the only event is jumping jacks for 45 minutes. So we follow Elliot through his school day as he is subject to discrimination not only from his classmates, but from the faculty as well.
Principal Myers? Principal Myers?
I'm just here in the girls' room. Around here, the policy is no boys in the girls' room and no girls in the boys' room. So please, feel free to use the urinal if you got what it takes.
That's not even like a dig at you, I just can't figure out how to work that thing. Embarrassed and with very few other options, Elliot finds a rundown bathroom in the basement he can use.
Holy shit, Elliot, look out, there's a demon. It's right behind you.
Oh, jeez, kiddo. You scared me.
Oh, never mind, it's just the quirky janitor character. She's not a demon. Oh, she's a demon.
I know what goes on up there. I know the kinds of things kids like them do to kids like you. You pour your pain into this bad boy, and they feel it.
So she lets him borrow this ocarina in exchange for a page from his songbook. They don't really explain why she wants it. They mention something about him pouring his whole soul into it, so I guess it's like selling your soul to the devil. Now we cut to the girls' bathroom where Elliot runs into the two girls that were bullying him earlier in the episode. You can tell they're popular because this girl's wearing heart-shaped sunglasses indoors, you know, as the cool kids do, and Elliot sees a perfect opportunity to play them a little song. Alright, Elliot, play that shit. I guess they don't like Zelda? Quick, Elliot, play a different song.
What are you doing? This is the worst song I've ever heard!
We'll never do it again. We're so sorry.
It's honestly really impressive, the show's ability to have an actual interesting idea and do nothing interesting with it. You have this cursed ocarina that has the ability to inflict pain and suffering on other people just by playing it. And the first time our main character plays it, it's just really loud?
It's a cursed instrument. Did you forget about the cursed part?
Like, these girls have been making Elliot feel bad about being different, right? So why not have the ocarina make them different? Maybe have their face be drastically altered in this long, drawn-out sequence that's obviously really traumatic for them. It doesn't have to even be that. I just want to see the least bit of passion, something that feels like somebody had fun creating it. Because otherwise, it feels very manufactured, surface level, and lazy. Title of my sex tape. So Elliot goes back to the janitor, riding the high of getting revenge on the girls that were bullying him, and she makes him an offer to let him keep the ocarina for good if she can have his songbook. But that high doesn't last for very long. Wow, does the ocarina make people teleport too? This is completely real. I have not touched this in any way whatsoever. God forbid we have 3 seconds of walking. What was the point of that? It's already pretty fast paced and this cut makes it look ridiculous.
My little sister said you messed up her and her friend.
By any chance, did she mention a cursed ocarina that made her fall to her knees in pain? No? Okay, it's not that important.
Have any idea how much you freaked her out?
I can explain.
Wait, hold on. Can you stop bullying me for like 2 seconds? Check out this sweet ocarina solo. Now, this is just about the most creative they get with the ocarina. It does kind of showcase its theme of revenge, because just as the kid picked Elliot up and slammed him against the wall before, he now picks himself up and slams himself against the wall. But it all happens very quickly, and it's very clearly focusing on the shock and gore aspect and not trying to make the scene interesting and cool. Also, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. The idea of picking yourself up and slamming yourself against the wall is fucking hilarious, right? It's very SpongeBob. Oh goody, it's Evil Principal again. Surely something interesting will happen when Elliot blows into the ocarina this time. Nope, he just makes him into fucking bubbles. This is a horror show, right? I mean, I guess the way they're squirming around on the ground is kind of creepy, but like, I'm an adult, right? I've seen stuff way worse than this in other horror shows and movies, on the internet even. Like, this is shit that would scare me when I was 10. Maybe? So then maybe you can make the argument that it's not supposed to scare me, it's supposed to scare a younger audience. But is it though? Because their target demographic is between the ages of 18 and 34, and their average viewer age is fucking 58. This ocarina is the point of intrigue to this episode, but it's not intriguing because all it does is make people turn into bubbles and cry. When you set up your episode with an interesting, extravagant premise, that's a promise that the rest of the episode is gonna be extravagant and interesting. So when you end up relying on cheap cliche visuals, it feels like you're not even trying on that front, and as a result, I feel like I've been lied to. Elliot also feels like he's been lied to. So he goes to return the ocarina to the janitor and ends up stumbling across the lifeless husks of 2 other missing children.
What did you do to them? What's happening to me? It's the essence of your suffering that matters. All your pain will live on forever in the dollar ocarina, far beyond your husk.
Okay, so the demon needs Elliot's suffering to live in the ocarina to become more powerful, I guess? Then why did she need Elliot's songbook? Is it necessary to create a pact and make the ocarina have effect? Is she trying to start a band? I don't know, you would think they would explain these things. Clearly she needs Elliot to use this ocarina so she can benefit from it, so why risk him saying no to this trade? Why not just give it to him for free?
You're down here. Play one last song for the bad man, and all that you feel will be living in the ocarina forever.
Okay. Oh no, so Elliot's screwed, right? The demon said play like one more note and you're done for.
What are you doing?
That's a great question. I thought you were supposed to be a husk by now, Elliot. But you just said, or at least heavily implied, that if he uses the ocarina one more time, he's gonna end up like the kids in the lockers. It's almost like you just established stakes and then completely fucking ignored them. Alright, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Maybe it's gonna be a slow thing, we're gonna see Elliot slowly deteriorate, and it's gonna be dramatic that he made this big sacrifice to save these other kids. Yeah. Right, okay. Or maybe everything's gonna be fine in the end, and we have a nice happy ending to our spooky horror show! Oh, wait, that's not the end, my bad.
But the truth is, he never did forget about the witch. And she never forgot about him, either.
Yes, I love that. Did you know the most powerful way to end the story is with the word never mind? This is the same exact bullshit they tried to pull with Little Monsters, and I'm not gonna stand for it. It makes me so mad. It is the laziest fucking way to end an episode. I mean, it genuinely feels like they finished writing and were like, oh yeah, this is a horror show. By the way, the bad guy's still alive. Can we also talk about this whole storybook thing that's literally only used in the beginning and the end? I just don't understand why do this at all if you're not gonna utilize it throughout the episode, especially because of how easy it would have been to just sprinkle in little narration here and there. Oh, and you know what, while we're on stories, let's look at the story this episode was based on. I don't have many friends, that's why I keep their bodies in the basement. Hey, look at that, this story has a twist. Where's the twist in the fucking episode? If you passed first grade, you can figure out the janitor's evil from the moment she's introduced. I'm not surprised by the fact that she's keeping kids stuffed in lockers in the basement. That is not a twist. So the reveal of the full story has no impact on my understanding of the episode, meaning that once again they failed to hit the one beat they're supposed to hit, their fucking gimmick. Par for the course. Now, I know that one of my main criticisms of this show since my first video has been the fact that its gimmick doesn't really work and that they don't really even try to make it work most of the time, but Fix gave me hope that if done correctly, it could actually be kind of interesting. I weirdly see a lot of promise in some of these episodes, conceptually. Like, using demonic possession as a metaphor for drug addiction is actually a pretty cool idea. I hear that concept and I'm like, yeah, that's something I would watch. It's just that in practice, somehow, somewhere along the way, something gets lost in translation and it becomes fucking hilarious. Elliot, again, a cursed ocarina that projects your pain onto the people that gave it to you. A cool idea. Even Bagman could have been fun if they did something interesting with the Breakfast Club angle and or actually used their villain instead of sandbagging the episode with a really confusing message about a really heavy topic. So the issue is not with the concept. Usually. It's the writing.
Boop, boop, boop. Hello? A liar?
It's the acting. It's an over-reliance on tropes and cliches. The only thing I can really praise this show for is its cinematography, because every now and then it has a pretty cool shot or angle. But even that's not consistent because the effects are terrible, and every now and then we have a really weird editing choice like making somebody teleport across the screen. Now, I don't know the first thing about how TV networks operate, but this is my theory, okay? There are a handful of really capable people working on this show that cannot do what they really want to do because of the limitations imposed on them by the CW. Maybe it's a budget issue, I don't know. Maybe they're given 2 nickels in the goddamn ham sandwich every episode, I don't know. But we have seen time and time again that the CW is really good at producing really bad entertainment. So the issue has to be with them. And on that note, I will leave you with a 2-sentence horror story of my own. Nah, respect, man. Prank like tactics, planning and foresight.